Hello everyone, how good of you to join and welcome back to Victoria 3. After a very successful episode, we abolished slavery finally in the United States. That means, of course, that we have no slaves anymore working, rather just laborers, normal laborers that are now working here, and farmers that is, of course, and no slaves anymore in the US in 1846. One problem though that I have, and I think I overlooked it a bit because of all the slavery thingy, is that my balance is way too high. We have way too much gold. We're actually almost capped at gold, and this is not good. So we should definitely spend more money again, and we need to invest. I do have a compassion capacity right now of 89, which is okay. We could do it much higher though. So let's go ahead and start by, well, just going with more construction sectors wherever we do have some good infrastructure left. So Tennessee, for example, Kentucky, we don't even have anything here. So let's actually just go with 2 for each of them. Virginia, North Carolina, each of them cost me 5k. I'm going crazy here. I don't care about this. In Illinois, we can go ahead with, let's have another one in New York because we just generally have a lot of construction there. And in Pennsylvania, also one more. Now, this is going to boost our construction industry quite a bit, right? But it's of course also going to cost us quite a bit. Right now, we are still finishing up on some textile mills here. Also a bit for fishing, and then some cotton plantations, and this all leads ultimately to the food industry. So the livestock and the fishing is producing the goods that we need for the food industry to boost our liquor and to boost our grocery output. They're just a tiny bit. We're not very negative on these things. So we have a bit of alcohol, we have a bit of food available, and my people are actually quite happy because of that. So we don't have the highest prices. Only 1 million radicalized people with 18 million population is not that bad. Of course, we should push it down. We also have the law propertied women right now that is going to be successful most likely. So this is our first step in making women equal to men. And this one here will allow women to have the right and the duty to own and cherish their possessions. What we can do also with such a high balance, of course, is we can lower the general taxation level. I would like to do this. This will cost me 30,000, but that is totally fine. Let's go down with this. It will give me 5 more legitimacy, and it will also reduce the radicalization from the standard of living. Let's push it down. As we can see, we're slightly negative. That is just perfect, right? We don't need to have a lot of surplus right now. Gold reserve is at 9 million. We could live off for a decade of this one. So I'm just going to lower the taxes there, make people a bit happier. We could also spend more military wages to also boost our military forces there a bit. And speaking about my military forces, they're pathetic. We are only with 20 battalions at the moment. I think when we look at Mexico, for example, they will almost be equal. Yeah, they have 20, they have 12 plus 20 conscript battalions. So we could do this. Oh, that was quick. We now have the propertied women. So the first step has been achieved. And this also leads to an event. No, that's another thing here. Police brutality in Ohio. The working class and the socially conscious are rallying against the police as an institution. What? We cannot tolerate this behavior, of course. And also the use of force is warranted. And armed forces and bourgeoisie will like this one. The lower strata in Ohio will become a bit more radical, but that is fine. I would like to keep my dedicated police force. By the way, it's also crazy how much bureaucracy we have. Let's just check it out and see where we can incorporate more states. I need to find it. There it is. We are incorporating already Iowa, Minnesota, Montana. I can continue here with Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, and North Dakota, right? So we're continuing here the west expansion. This will cost me quite a bit of bureaucracy, and it's going to take a while, but we want to get them eventually really fully integrated into the United States and start building some cities here. There is nothing at the moment. Just like Chicago started out from nothing, and we're already having a small cute town right here working for us. And speaking about Chicago, we could continue, or Illinois in general, we could continue here. We got the Great Mississippi River, so we have plenty of infrastructure to also start a bit more industry, like a steel industry. Let's go ahead and also start construction of that. We should see it. There it is, popping up now in Chicago, in the urban center that we have, popping up a new factory for more steel production that we're going to need for our tools. And let's also expand my tools industry just because of that as well. Oh, we have the Ripper murders. Reports a series of horrific murders in New York. According to the article, the police are powerless to stop the murderer, who they dubbed the New York Ripper. And we must bring the killer to justice. This gives me 20% radicals from standard of living decreases in New York. That's quite a lot. And it also adds the Ripper murderer to my journal. Let's just quickly check this out. There we have it now. And what do we need to do? The murderer has been caught. We need to raise the police institution. We can do this here by raising this one. Let's check it out where we are with the police institution. We're at level 3. We could now raise it to level 4. This will cost me quite a bit of bureaucracy, but I'm fine with that. It will also reduce the radicals once again. So let's start improving my law enforcement to level 4. And then we also have an uprising in the Indian territory. It had to happen at some point. They're not very happy with us. This is happening right down here now. So in the Indian territory, they are rising up against us. Of course, they don't really stand a chance. They have very outdated tech. And I'm probably just going to send some of my forces over, but not even all of them. Let's just check it out there. We could mobilize here Winfried Scott with 12 battalions available. Let's get over here and defend the front. And Thomas G. Sub, let's also go over here. And by the way, one thing that we should do is promoting my generals. This costs me a bit of bureaucracy, but it gives them more command limit. So they can raise the command for them. Here, for example, is of the New England headquarters, so we could also start building some more headquarters now, or barracks in the New England headquarters. Let's do this. Does it cost me infrastructure? I think this one does not cost me infrastructure. It will just increase my consumption of ammunition, small arms and artillery, so the prices of that will go up, right? So we are of course going to have some expenses here, but that is fine for me. Let's go ahead. Let's also have one in Pennsylvania and one in New Jersey. So we're raising here the amount of battalions now, and Winfried Scott will be able to command them because he's got a very good ranking now. We get another journal entry, the Metropolitan Police. As cities grow and dangerous ideas spread, the need to maintain public order becomes even more essential. The police must have the manpower and resources that they need to keep the peace, with priority given to the heart of our nation. We need to increase the law enforcement to level 5, and the turmoil in the District of Columbia needs to be lower than 20%. This then triggers the event, the Metropolitan Police. Let's put this one on our list of things that we can actually do. We're raising it to level 4 and level 5 afterwards. Oh, we're not even using all the power of my construction industry. We've finished all the construction industry, by the way. We are now at 136 construction, and as we can see, the balance is deep red because of that. We are paying 76,000 in construction goods right now. But as I said, this is totally fine. We have plenty of headroom as well to counter any kind of deep red balances. So we could, for example, still raise the taxes. We could add new consumption taxes because we are having a very low taxation right now. So I'm happy with that. We have lots of gold. Let's just live off the negative 25,000 there for a while. I could even boost my construction industry further. I'm not doing this yet because I want to boost my tool industry. Do we actually have some positive tools right now? Yes, we do. We are having a positive tool, but that is because we are not using the full construction capacity at the moment. So let's go ahead. And let's boost our... Oh, iron we have plenty of. Do we need some more coal? Also don't need any coal really at the moment, but we definitely do need more logging camps. So let's go ahead and do this one where we can. So in Pennsylvania, in New York. Let's just see where we have some profit there as well. Oh, up here in the Canadian territory, we got lots of forests available, and this is boosting the profitability. In Florida, we could do a bit. Let's go ahead. We have plenty of tiles in Florida. So let's go with 23. And by the way, I think Florida is now incorporated 7 more months, right? Then it is fully integrated. Let's also celebrate this by giving Florida a government administration. This one costs me a bit, but it will raise the taxation capacity of Florida. And in Florida, we're going to build up quite a few things. So it is totally worth it. And also, mechanized workshops have been researched. With that, we get a +10 economic of scale for the building cap. So we can further raise the building level, and also leads to some more improvements here for my textile mills, furniture factories. And also, it will lead to electrical generation and thus electricity. Next on my list is the baking powder. This one will lead to more, no, actually will not to lead more tech, but it allows me to boost my food industry without building any additional grocery stores or food buildings. So by just consuming a bit more grain and a bit more, what was it? Come on, sugar it is, we can boost our grocery output, and it doesn't take that long to research. Let's go ahead for this. Next up would probably be then already electrical generation. For this one, however, we do need, of course, a bit more innovation, a few more universities. Next up on the research, chemical bleaching has been passively researched, and this one gives me a new production method for the paper mills that boosts my output of paper by consuming a bit more wood, dye and sulfur. And as we can see, except for wood where we're building some logging camps already, we do have these things in store right now. So I could go ahead now, and I'm probably going to do this because we do need more paper for the bureaucrats that we have. By the way, here also the war is won. Of course, the uprising, so nothing else happens here now, right? So this still belongs to us here, the Indian territory, more or less. Let's go ahead and have the paper mill, and then we have it, the paper bleaching. This will lead to 200 more paper for a bit more dye consumption. Let's go ahead and do this. And we also have the automation type here, so we could consume some more tools and coal to reduce the amount of laborers by 10,000. Let's also go ahead with this, and this should make paper mills really profitable now once all of this kicks in. But of course also paper output is now really high. That drops the price of paper. So what we can do and should do is build some more government administrations, and I would like to start with that where we don't have them or at the moment. So Kansas, for example, we don't have any one of these here. Iowa, we also don't have that, but we're incorporating them already. Michigan, we do need one. Illinois, let's build another one. This is going to raise my bureaucracy then, and thus also my taxation capacity. And I think also, do we have one in Florida? Yes, in Florida we have finished one, so let's just keep it like that. Now what I can see with some more buildings, we are getting to the limits of the infrastructure. For example, Florida only has a market access now of 82%. That means only 82% of its production is going to direct to the American market, and almost 20% is lost. This is not good for us, of course. So let's raise infrastructure. Luckily, Florida has lots of coastal sites. That means we will be able to build a port, and a port adds 5 infrastructure per port level. So let's start with the first one. However, ports will consume clippers, and well, we should also raise the production of clippers with that. Let's have a quick look. A shipyard requires fabric and wood to produce clippers out of the whole thing. We have lots of fabric, and we probably also have lots of wood. So let's go ahead and also build some shipyards. Let's start doing this in Florida. Let's build 2 actually for this. I think, wait a second. If we have then the 5 infrastructure, we will definitely be positive, but with the 2 shipyards, we will be equal again. So let's also raise the port limit once more to really boost some more infrastructure in Florida. Also, organized sports, we get some 10% prestige level. All right, I'll take it. Yeah, let's have some more logging also in Florida. So we are really boosting Florida right now with lots of construction industry, and the population will definitely climb then with that. Now, next up on my list is there is a new entry in the journal now, and under decisions we have the manifest destiny. So this is one of the big pushes that you can do with your nation, and our great nation is fated to spread across the continent. The United States has reached the nationalism, we have that. It adds the manifest Mexican concession and frontier wars to our long-term goals. It will result in a diplomatic incident with Mexico, giving me 24 infamy. We also will reduce the relationship with 4 nations. However, we do get a claim on California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona and New Mexico. Let's go ahead and accept this one, and with that we have now Manifest Destiny Mexican Session, right? Conquer all of these states here, and Destiny Frontiers Wars, conquer all of that. Only Colorado here is missing from this one, from the Frontier Wars, for example. And yeah, well, with that we do have now in Mexico a direct claim on all of that here, right? So especially the upper states that we have there now. And we could start a diplomatic play against Mexico. I think we're actually not that far away anymore from them, because we do have actually the soldiers, right? We're building no more barracks. I probably would like to go ahead and build a few more barracks, especially here in my northern headquarters. Let's go ahead and once again get this one up a bit. So New Jersey should also get it, and probably also here then Vermont, right? So let's build a few more of them. And once they're finished, can Winfred Scott hold all of them? That's the interesting question. Yeah, so far he can hold all of them. He's got 21 under his command at the moment, so he's pretty powerful. We could promote him once more to a field marshal. Let's do this, so he can command even more. He's just really good when it comes to offensive planning, so 30% offense bonus he gets. He also gets a very good logistic bonus, so 90% reduction in broken supply lines. And he's cautious, so he's got a lot of character health, but also the the armies under him have a lot of recovery rate, and that is just what we could use in an offensive war. So I'm probably going to go with him into full-out war then against Mexico. Let's just build a few more barracks among the other things, right? So I'm also boosting my furniture production there a bit. Shipyards and ports then for Florida are also incoming. We should also be very close to my next research. Baking powder is being finished now in the next couple of days. We can also wait this out. What we could also do in order to get a bit of profit in... Oh, there it is, baking powder for the food industry. Having a look at what we have a lot of. Sugar, for example, we have quite a bit. And tobacco. Let's have a look at that and try to export it. How much tobacco do we have? 240. This trade right here would of course be too much, but the Spanish market requires 135 tobacco, and it would give me a nice productivity level here overall. So let's accept this one for the tobacco, and for the sugar, yeah, the French market would like to have some. We have a lot of convoys available, so we can definitely export quite a few things. Fertilizers, these things here. Fabric. 350 to the British market. Let's also go for this. A new tech we need to research as well. I think no, electricity is not going to work. Nitroglycerin gives me a nice research boost, resource discovery boost, and also a new level for my mines to boost the output. Triage passively has been also unlocked. Lots of researching right now happening across the board. Very good for us. We also do have the authority to enact a few more consumption taxes. I would like to do this on liquor for 10,000 and would like to do this on tobacco for another 8.8 thousand, right? So we do reduce our high construction goods cost right now. So all the investment in the construction industry by having a few more consumption taxes up. Other than that, it's not really hurting us that much. It just costs me authority really, and we do have that for these consumption taxes, as long as I don't want to have anything to do with other political forces, like boosting them. Now, let's just check it out there as well. I think the manifest we have... 21, we're still not really done here with the barracks, so we're still waiting this one out. And I wanted to look into my food industry now, where we have the baking powder available. So there it is. For grain and sugar consumption, we produce 660 more grocers. That's actually quite a lot. It will drop the price too much for the grocers, as we can see. Right, it will make it worthless, and this is hurting my food industry then. So I'm not doing it for all of them, I'm just doing it for some of them. So Vermont, for example, we could do this. This would be fine, right? A bit more grain, a bit more sugar consumption for 110 more groceries, and that's exactly how much we need. Let's just do it for Vermont, and that's it. It should still remain positive. Very good, yes it is. And with that, we're happy. In the institutions, in the health system law, we do have actually some interesting choices now. We have the public health insurance would be possible. I love this because it reduces the mortality of your whole nation by 5%, which gives you a tremendous boost to pop growth. That is probably what I would like. We could also go with the charity hospital. It has the same effect, negative 5%, but it also gives 10% political strength to the evangelicals. Not that great. By the way, both of them have the same support rating. So let's go with public health insurance. The chance is really low, but I don't have any other law right now that I would like to pass. So I think we could try it out. Yep, we can actually try it out with the public health service, and 14% chance we have right now, and we got a 30% chance of advancement there. I could try reform my government to get a bit more out of it. There you go. Adding the People's Party gives me 100% legitimacy. And it should also boost then my output for my law, so it's straight up increasing that by 1%. The industrialists don't like it too much, so we do lose some repetition while this enactment process is going on with them, but it's fine. All right, we are at 32 now. I think we do need another general now, right? Yes. So Senegal, we could go with one because we don't have all the numbers here, but I still would like to wait. Very good here right now. My construction industry is not fully used. So let's go ahead and use it fully. I think a bit more steel is required. So let's have a look. Oh, in Michigan, we already have a negative infrastructure. Let's have in Illinois 2 steel mills here. We do have enough coal and iron for now. And I would also like to have then another tool workshop. We're also going to have this in Illinois right away for more tools. I should also boost my shipyard there a bit more. Are we finishing this up? Let's have another one because I do need those clippers. Now, before we start the war and the conflict with Mexico, I would like to have a look at my military here. So we can do a few things. Actually, we can do one thing, I think, and that is changing the medical aid production for that. So we are going to use Winfried Scott as our primary force, of course. And this guy here's got quite a few troops stationed in Massachusetts, New York, and stuff like that. And as we can see, we cannot really change that much. So we're still having the skirmish infantry, of course. We're still having the mobile artillery. And then we can change the medical aid to first aid. This will cost me a bit of fabric. We have plenty of that available. And also opium. Opium we don't have yet, but it will just cost me a bit, right? Not much. It will give me, though, 50% recovery rate for my troops. And this is all that I want. It did actually cost me 500 there. And that is fine. I'm going to use it on all my troops from Winfried Scott. So this guy is going to have some nice recovery rates on the soldiers there. And this should give me a nice edge then as well in the combat. Now I feel ready. Let's finally go for it. We need to get Texas and Colorado at least. Colorado for finishing my first Manifest Destiny, the Frontier Wars. And Texas, of course, because we should have gotten it all along. Actually, Texas should join us and not get conquered by Mexico. So we have an alternate history here. But in that case, we're going to rectify this. Let's go ahead and conquer the state of Texas. And with this one here, we will also get some infamy, right? That is going to hurt us a bit, but not much. And also Mexico will join the war, of course, and Guatemala may help them out, but they are very weak. And we are facing here up to 14 professional soldiers. We have 35, and there might be a potential of 20 conscripts joining in. I think we do have a bit more than that. We have up to 359 conscripts potentially that we could mobilize as well, but it's not coming to that, I hope. Let's start the diplomatic play for Texas. And I could add another war goal to the whole thing, right? I could also say conquer the state of Colorado then as well. So we're going to add 2 war goals here. The more war goals I have, the more difficult it will also be to actually defeat them in a direct confrontation. So I'm not going to add too much to this yet. And then I'm going ahead here. You could activate conscripts. I'm not doing this as long as they're not doing it. We'll just see what happens then. And let's activate Winfield Scott. There you go. And let's get over there and defend the front against the Mexicans. Also, I'm going to go with Thomas Chesup in the Dixie headquarters. Before I go with him, actually, let's build a few more barracks where he is stationed. Let's just check it out. He is in the... Is he down here? Okay, who of them is better? Thomas Chesup. He is meticulous. He's cancer. Oh my goodness, he's going to die. Alright, he's not going to live for that long anymore. Let's go with Yancey. He's arrogant. Attrition risk is increased, but he's got a very good defensive rating, and he's also an offensive planner. Alright, let's promote him. So that is Willis Yancey. And he is in the Midwest, right? So this we can here boost now. Let's go ahead, yeah, and start also getting the first barracks into Illinois and Indiana, right? So let's make 4 additional soldiers then out of that. We can actually send this Yancey already to the front. The soldiers from the barracks will then join later, right? So let's just get them over now. So they're on their way now, taking a bit of time. Oh, that was quick. Mexico backed down. There it is. And we just got Texas. And did we also get Colorado? We did not get Colorado. So the primary war goal has been achieved. And that's it. They backed down like that. Problem is now we are in a truce with Mexico until 1854, so 5 years. That's fine. Time is flying by. And we have Texas. That is at least something, right? That we have now integrated. We, of course, don't have it yet. So let's start incorporating it as well. And Texas is going to be really great when the oil age starts because it's got lots of natural resources of oil. And let's also get a... Do we need infrastructure? Yes. Let's also start building up a port in Texas. So we do get some of that in. And other than that, for now, it's fine. Some livestock ranches for fabric, fertilizer and meat. Let's also do this, starting it up. And probably some sugar that we need for food production. And we also get some wine. Oh yeah, the maize farms. Let's do this. So they were really just overwhelmed with our power of military might, right? At 35. I mean, we're still minor power, but it's okay. And as we can see, also their first ports appear now here in Texas. I just love that you have these empty maps more or less, right? And buildings appear then once you start building something up. Like this port was just not here before. And now we got a nice little lighthouse there and a port as we're starting the construction of a port. Just wait for the railways then when they appear. And El Paso over there also belongs to us now, right at the border to Mexico. 3 more days for the first checkpoint. Oh, it's not looking that great, really. I mean, it was worth a try. Oh, it advanced. Perfect, to 29%. So we're still on track here. There's still a chance that we can enact the public health insurance. That would be a great step forward there, really. But it's worth a try. It's just costing us some time there. Construction continues for boosting our industry. Taxes are looking okay. And I think we can continue like that in the next episode. Stay tuned.